Okay, so I just want to make sure I have the right report up. Okay, so hello, my name is Hakeem Abdumalik. I will be going over my proposal for the composting for the busiest airport in the world. So this was going to be on the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, just turn this off. Okay, so the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta, Georgia, is considered the largest and busiest airport, or it's considered the busiest airport in the world, not necessarily the largest, but it is the busiest airport with, millions of flights in a year. Um, well, millions of passengers, I should say. And with those millions of passengers each year, more than 70 million passengers since the year of 2000, there's a huge amount of waste that ends up being added or ends up being generated from all these people. Um, so the idea is that we want to find a way that is going to be best to remove some of this waste, and that's going to be sustainable. Ideally something that will allow people to benefit from all this waste. So this is where the idea of composting much of the selected, or much of the organic waste that has been over the years building up. In the past, the Atlanta International Airport has actually come up with a program for composting over 200,000 tons of uh, waste. The issue currently is that, unfortunately, due to different contracts and bidding reports or different bids, that this project has not actually been completed, and it's been delayed for multiple years, year after year. Where if there was just a little bit of um, if the what do you call it? If the contracts had been completed, then the city and the airport would have this massive project for composting underway. The current issue is that that is not the case. And with no clear indicator of when the airport will have this facility up and running, there needs to be a secondary method to reduce the carbon footprint as well as just the vast amount of waste that's being generated every single year. So the the uh, the idea, the proposed plan that I'm the project that I'm proposing is essentially a drive-by waste pickup for the local or for the public. Basically, to sum everything up in small parts, would be one, creating an area outside of the main airport area in a parking lot on the airport grounds that would have the waste that people could come pick it up with their vehicles and to be able to uh, basically take it to their farms, compost it themselves in their own neighborhoods and whatever area that they're in. This could be achieved by, like I was saying, um, by sectioning off a portion of the airport. More than likely, it would be an area on the parking lot that would allow people to go to that location and pick up a certain amount of waste, whatever they could carry essentially in either their vehicle, their car, truck, or any other kind of vehicle they may have. So what would end up happening is that the city would end up not having to pick up that waste. That waste would end up being composted and used on farms and gardens and would allow many other people to benefit from the waste that's being generated already from the airport. The airport would also have much less waste to deal with, and it would reduce the costs for the airport, um, being able to uh, being able to offset some tons of waste, and that tonnage could be, approximately, anywhere from a few. 100 tons to a few thousand tons, preferably as many as possible, but that also depends on the infrastructure of the local population and what they're able to actually handle. That would require more research, but in our current graphic, we're just seeing like some of the possible effects of having this kind of drive-by pickup composting done by the airport. As you can see, if we're able to get 30% of it, we reduce the carbon footprint by 1,600 tons, more than 1,600 tons. And ideally, once the facility is open, you know, over 200, I mean, up to 200,000 tons would be taken care of through that composting facility.